Excelsior.
Hi, I'm Mark Pracht. I'm a playwright and actor and a musician in Chicago and a director. And welcome to Splash Pages.
Is the one obvious thing.
What's wrong with him?
His girl just broke it off.
It's her father. He doesn't want her dating a zombie.
Why? What are they, demons?
She is predeceased.
An outsider?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you're asking for trouble.
She broke my heart.
You're a zombie. Technically, you don't even have a heart.
After all of the great cinema that we brought to the world, and we still get no respect.
I don't know why he doesn't like me. I'm responsible for a full-time job.
You work at a haunted house in October.
I'm trying to be healthy. She's a vegan, so...
Wait, you're giving up meat?
Oh, come on.
What are you gonna do? Attack a farmer's market to try to impress her?
Now, if he was a vampire, he'd have a much better chance with the dead.
Yeah, those pretty bastards.
I didn't think this would be that hard.
Hard? Man, I'm a zombie and I'm black.
Here we go.
I blame the educational system.
I blame the media.
I blame George Romero.
Oh. How could you be so disrespectful?
Coffee?
Zombies don't know much, but they do know good coffee. Deadly Grounds. It's coffee to die for, and zombie approved.
Who's George Romero?
Just have some coffee.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are watching Splash Pages. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an amazing show scheduled for you as always, and we'll kick it on over to Jar Jar. How's it going?
Hey, happy Tuesday, true believers. We've got a special show tonight. I'm pretty excited. I enjoyed our prep for this week. It was a lot of fun. It was moving, some of it, and some of it made me even change my mind maybe a little bit for some creators. But enough about me. On to, is it MJ?
Yeah, MJ.
It is, in fact. Hello, everyone. I'm MJ back. It's really nice to be back, guys, and I hope everyone's being safe and getting ready for the cold weather, which I am not ready for, guys.
Fire.
Not ready for it. Just not.
Mr. Drew.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Was that gin?
Well, it's still a good vintage. Hey, welcome to Splash Pages. It's Tuesday. We've got the whole crew, and we've got an absolutely fantastic guest. We were jibbing and joshing with him because I'm apparently carbon dating myself with that. And it's going to be a really great show. So thanks for joining us on this otherwise rainy Tuesday. So, but I'm good, but let's see what Carrie's got to say.
Hey, what I've got to say is welcome everybody to a spectacular Tuesday night show. I'm super excited to be here. I've gotten to interview and hang out with this guy because I knew him way back in the day, because our guest is an alumni of the University of Nebraska at Kearney, where I also attended for a much shorter period of time than he did. But he's also been a company member of the Sheleterbelt Theatre in Omaha, Nebraska, during which time he helped develop and produce 7 world premiere productions, including his own full-length play, Neon. He's worked as an actor, director, and playwright in the Chicago Community Theater since 2001 and received the 2019 Joseph Jefferson Award for the Best Performance and Principal Role in his portrayal of Harlan Mountain McClintock in Rod Serling's Requiem for a Heavyweight at the Artist Home Theater. His work has been produced in Chicago by City Lit Theater, Brown Couch Theater Company, where he served as artistic director, and Strangeloop Theater. And tonight we're going to be talking to him about his trilogy, The 4 Color Plays, which are made up of The Mark of Cain, The Innocence of Seduction, and The House of Ideas. All of these cover different key points and relationships in comic book history. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Pracht.
Yay!
Yes.
Hey, everybody.
Encore.
That's a really that's an introduction that I better live up to, I guess.
Yeah.
Excelsior.
Hey there, true believers.
Hey, that's pretty good. Well, before we start the show and anything, I just think we all need to give an extra hand to the guy above. To Jar, because this is the first show that we've had where he is a married man. So congratulations. Yeah, he got married on Sunday. Very low key. And
So waiting for the gifts.
Just let everybody know, we were told that there was no Skeletor sighting, no He-Man haberdashery. There were absolutely no swords of any kind. That's for the honeymoon.
Not even a lightsaber.
No, there was not even a lightsaber. There was not a dueling sword. There was no Conan, He-Man, Power Man, Hydro Man.
Almost like you were there.
It's so many. But, buddy, I just need to say, seriously, happy for you and your lady Emily. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
All right. Cool.
Thanks
We
for
got
taking
that
time
out
out of your honeymoon to talk to me.
I know, right?
Right?
2 days later.
No, actually, Mark, he's taking a break from cooking because he's celebrating his Thanksgiving early. So he took a break from dealing with the cranberry sauce just to hang with us. So
yeah, I did the same.
You should all feel honored.
Hi.
Bow down, bow down.
Here's my honor. Here's a return too. But now, great, we did Jar. Back to you, Mark. All right, thank you, Drew. So I have to ask, Mark, because I'm these lovely nerdlings can attest to this. I'm very big on origins. So I have 2 questions in terms of origin. First one is, how did this all begin? Were you a fan that just said, you know what, there should be a play about Stan Lee and Jack Kirby? And then I want to talk about you working with our lovely Carrie Sanders, the Squirrel Wrangler, way before she ever jumped on a podcast. So answer either one however you want. I don't care.
Well, okay. I can answer the first question probably a lot easier because I was drinking a lot back then.
Fair enough.
Several years and years ago, I read a book by David Haju, which is called The 10-Cent Plague. That was about the 50s juvenile delinquency scare and the birth of the Comics Code Authority. And at that time, I was like, there's a play here, especially after I watched the footage of Bill Gaines actually testifying. for the Senate committee,
Mhm.
which you can go and watch, and it's kind of amazing. And then so that was sitting in the back of my head, and I was thinking,
Right.
okay, that's an idea that I'm going to get to one of these days. And then in 2006, I went to my very first San Diego Comic-Con,
Wow,
and
lucky.
hey man, I've been going pretty regular now. So, I wandered into a panel that was called the Golden Age Batman panel. And, I was like, oh, hey, great. Arnold Drake, Jerry Robinson, Shelley Moldoff. This is great because it was like, I consider myself so lucky that I started going to San Diego when I did, because I actually was able to see a lot of these Golden Age guys before they passed on, because they would show up, because they all retired out there. And I sat down and I was watching this panel go on, and it, in a lot of ways, it's the very panel, the Mark of Cain begins with a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, and that was essentially my fictionalized version of that very panel. Wow. Because within 10 minutes, that panel turned into the Bob Kane was an asshole panel. And I was just sort of like in shock, because like these guys were so vehemently like, and Shelley Moldoff, bless Shelley Moldoff, he, like, at one point he was like, I don't know, I had a deal with Bob and he lived up to it. And I thought Jerry Robinson was going to hit him. And I was just like, this is incredible. And I was flying back with my friend Sean Harkleroad, who is the only actor to appear in all three of these plays when they were produced. And we were talking, and I was like, there is a play in this. There is a play in this. I've got to do this. So I started doing my research, and, what happened was I was acting an awful lot until the pandemic hit. And then I found myself with a lot of free time, and I was like, okay, this is my chance to really focus on this. And so I started working on it, and, I wrote one, which was Mark of Cain with Bob and Bill. And then I wrote The Innocence of Seduction, because I knew those were the two stories that started the whole thing. And then I was like, well, if you do two, you better do three. And I was like, well, there's only really one story that this points towards. And the director that I worked with, he directed The Mark of Cain and The House of Ideas. He very rightly pointed out, and I was kind of totally unconscious on my part, that The Mark of Cain is sort of the 30s and the 40s. The Innocence of Seduction is the 50s. And the House of Ideas is basically the 60s, where the most of the creativity occurs. So I was like, wow, yeah, I'm a smart cookie. So that's how that all started. And as far as I can say this, I don't remember most of my undergrad. I plead the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. I have terrible memory. I can't remember. I tell you, I can't remember.
Here's the deal. You can't spell drunk without UNK. And that's where we were in school together as theater majors. So
that is the most college.
Anything.
That is the most college thing you can ever say about your alma mater. Like,
yeah. Well, it was incredibly true. And we spent a lot of time in theater. Like, I remember he helped me audition for Phoebe in As You Like It. And I was going about it completely wrong, because I was this like high school, it was my first year, and I was doing this very serious angry Phoebe, and he was having me crack up so hard on stage. And it was like, this is a fucking comedy. Quit being high school drama queen, and so I'll give that to him, and I will be kind enough to leave out one other memory that would just embarrass us both. So
Oh, come on.
If he's giving the look of okay. All right.
Damn it.
Okay. Quick salute. So you know how sometimes during plays people kind of do little pranks here and there
Every day.
with things?
Every day.
Okay, so during this play, if you weren't on stage, you were on the stage, but in the back where we were watching, we had this commedia tableau above us, and we had everybody sitting on benches or standing behind them. And Mark was standing behind me before the final dance in As You Like It. And it was opening night, and we were wearing these really heavy, multi-layered Shakespearean clothing, and the gowns had and he unlaced the back of my gown before we had to do this really complex multi-partner dance dancing around stage. So I spent the whole thing like doing this weird. So that was my fun. But the memories of me, I'm glad you don't retain them all. So I deserve it.
To anyone in the Chicago community who may be listening, I am far more professional now than I was when I was 19. And we'll leave it at that.
Yes, it was at the time. It was pretty much straight up right for what was going on. I wasn't the nicest of people. I was nice, but I was ornery in my weird goth way. So it all played out fine.
Ornery. Okay. That's hold on. I'm sorry, cheerleader of the year. Are you saying you were aggressive? B-E aggressive?
Well, I know I was just drunk all the time. Like,
okay, even better.
I had one of our mutual friends, Ren, would like show up. I don't know how he got into my dorm room, but he would get into my dorm room every morning and like half dress me, throw me over his shoulder, and carry me to class. He'd be so hungover.
You see, you guys, when you're drunk, you've got the reasons for the stories, right? I have literally never been drunk a day in my life. So all this insane shit that I done, I was stone cold sober.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay, congratulations, you're Ernest Hemingway.
No, literally looking back, things that legitimately should have murdered my brother and I. We look back, like, how in the hell did we survive? Literally, how?
As a theater person, I think that everybody should have some experience in theater because I think it teaches you how improvisation is literally like it's a key skill you need to have because it's so easy to just want to follow a script, but you have to be ready for when someone messes up a line. Someone skips a beat, someone is late for an entrance. You need to be ready because the audience will notice that lull. They'll feel that awkwardness. And then the second you have any momentum you had in the performance or whatnot, like and it's funny, Carrie, you mentioned pranks. I was in this play that was like the history of the world, but like through angels, and we were creating the world. And as a prank, we rolled the globe across the stage and chased after it, and it split open. So like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Is that what we're gonna fill it with? What are we gonna fill it with? Candy. No. It was all improvised. And for years the playwright was like, I thought you guys just fucked that up. I was like, no, that was an absolute deliberate prank that just hilariously we made work and nobody realized. So those are like, I think theater pranks are literally some of the best stories you can tell over a pint, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
The shit that goes wrong in a show is the best. Like my favorite story, and it's a total secondhand story, is
go for it.
When we were doing Peter Pan at UNK. And they had brought in Foy Flying, who are the people who developed the whole flying rig for that.
Yeah.
And they had two different kinds of flying rigs. They had one that was just one line that they used in Peter Pan, but they also had one with two lines that would use in It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman, so that he could go up and then fly straight, right? And this guy was telling us a story about how they were working on a show of Superman, It's a Bird, It's a Plane, Superman, and that they'd come back after they'd set everything up, and like 6 months later on World's Funniest Home Videos,
he
sees this footage where Superman is supposed to fly through the window, and the guy lost his balance and flipped over, and his head hit the window frame and knocked him unconscious. So Superman is like hanging upside down in his flying rig, unconscious.
They killed Superman.
They killed Superman. So there you go.
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Excuse me. The answer to that is, as always, damn Lex Luthor and his kryptonite construction company. You know, that's what that comes to. And it's, you know, it's so funny you say that, because I remember this is something funny that I did, because I was in a production of Xanadu. I don't know if any of you remember Xanadu, but when it was made into a play, it's ridiculous. And I was in it.
Now we are here in Xanadu.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's right.
It's true. Thank you, Xanadu. But the dance music, the dance numbers are not as good, and there's not enough leg warmers for everyone, Mark.
For yourself.
No. Hey.
Did you have roller skates?
No, I didn't. But here's what the stage manager called me, and she was like, "There's a part I think I want to ask. Like, I want to ask you to be in this show. There's a small role, but you are the first person I thought of. Would you do it?" And I was like, "Well, what is it?" I was like, "I know nothing of Xanadu. The only Olivia Newton-John I know is it's Grease." You know, and she said, "Would you be interested in being a Pegasus?" And my first answer was yes. So and this is like done 80s style. So this is the cheesiest thing I've ever worn. Like, I'm wearing a white hoodie. I've got a rainbow bright mane. They have made me like angel wings that I can slip my hands into to mimic the flying.
Right.
And in true fashion, I'm wearing white sweatpants and Converse, because nothing says 80 more than Converse. And the goal is that the girl who plays the main character in Xanadu is supposed to get on my shoulders, and we're riding up to Olympus to be judged by Zeus for all the things in the show. So I'm coming out, and I have never heard more people dying of laughter. That's because I'm keeping a straight face the whole time, because like horses don't smile. They don't have the ability to smile. So I'm just going out like just and she gets on my shoulders.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
And she's like a Mark. She's like a 5'2", skinny on rollerblades. She gets on my shoulders, lift her up, and we're flying away. I kid you not, everyone. It was so fucking funny that the lead actress complained that I was stealing her thunder. And it was the funniest thing. So she kind of pressured the director to change what was. The joke was on her, because the version that we all got, you know, in DVD was the first appearance. So I was like, magic's a bitch, because it's karma. So
there you go.
So sometimes I always tell that story. I said sometimes the smallest roles, if you take them seriously enough, enjoy, they can really make the world of a difference in a show. So absolutely. But sometimes theater is one of the best mediums in the world besides television and comics. You can't match the community, the joy, and the improvised, ongoing, never know what the fuck's going to happen chaos of theater. Yeah. I just need to say that.
Well, and you know, it's one of the few art forms that they're not going to be able to replace us with AI.
It's true.
Yeah, true.
Yet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they'll figure a way.
Jar, don't do that, man.
I'm telling you, we're all getting replaced at some point.
Jar, don't be that guy.
It's gonna be like WALL-E. We're all gonna be stuck on a spaceship, just sitting in lounge chairs watching.
I know you just got married, man. Don't get bitter yet.
Oh, I'm so bitter. So bitter. We're heading for ultimate destruction.
What are you sipping in that cup, buddy? Good Lord.
Moonshine.
Okay, so in order to reel us back onto the train tracks, just for a little.
Mark.
Mark, you did mention Mark of Cain. So we do have a trailer for that. I'm going to play that, and we'll talk a little bit. Yeah, here we go.
Bob Kane. Bill Finger. And if you... Vince Sullivan over at National wants another Superman. A Batman. I, Bob Kane, am the sole creator of Batman. I created Batman in 1939, and I signed it Robert Kane.
Bill Finger is the man who first put words in the mouth of the Guardian of Gotham.
Enough, Bill! You were cheated!
For the air, Batman. No. The Batman.
Yeah. He had the name. I gotta give him that. But the look, the feel, the concept, that was me.
Full cowl. Ears. No eyes, just white slits.
I loved it, Charlie. Every day of it. Every minute. Everything we dreamt up. Gotham City, Batmobiles, Bat Caves, loyal butlers, adventurous sidekicks, Catwoman, Clown Princess of Crime. I wrote those comics, Charlie. I did.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you know what? That also reminded me. I was at Mark when you were talking about panels. I remember I sat on a panel that had Jim Steranko there, and I think he has a story about the time he like slapped Bob Kane in the face. He's very proud of that one. He'll tell you if I'm not gonna lie, beautiful women in this chat room. If you ask him about it, he will 100% tell you.
It's in the play.
Yeah, exactly. Just I was like, okay, so you slap Bob Kane. Now I'm like, good stuff. Nicely done. Maybe more.
Steranko is that guy too, by the way. The guy that you had portrayed on that stage, that was Steranko, or is Steranko. I get to see him every now and again up at a con up in New Hampshire.
100%. But
I mean, like that was one of the things that, like, the panel that begins the show, that was essentially the panel that I saw. Steranko was not involved in that panel, but it was that story.
Right.
That I was like, I got to put Steranko in here.
You gotta.
Somebody, not to give away the show, but I mean, like, but somebody has to give Bob some kind of comeuppance. It's like when you're working on something like this, you want to try to find something good about everybody, right? Something good and something bad. And, the further you I hate to be this way, but the further you dig into Bob Kane, the more it's just like, what?
Yeah.
How's it get worse?
Yeah. But
I mean, the man's tombstone is the most incredible thing that anyone has like. It's insane. I mean, there it is.
Yeah. God bestowed a dream upon Bob Kane. Blessed with divine inspiration and a rich imagination, Bob created a legacy known as Batman. And we won't go through this, but there's more hand of God and shit involved in that.
But Jar, you had a question. I think it was related to the documentary that came later.
No. I've met Athena Finger, and I was wondering, have you had her watch this in particular play? Because I think she would love it.
I know people who know Athena. There's another playwright by the name of Lenny Schwartz who did a play called The Rise of the Bat that Athena was involved with. And That play goes more into getting the credit back, and
right.
And that really wasn't what I was interested in writing about. I wanted to write about the two men. But I have been in the same room with her. Lenny keeps saying he wants to introduce me to her, and the opportunity just never came up. So I would be very happy to have her read it, to have her watch the video. But I have personally not met Athena.
Well, kind of piggybacking off of that then, Jar, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Is how do you feel like? Do you feel that you've contributed kind of to that ongoing understanding of because before if you look at older DC comics, like I remember ones I remember picking up when I was in high school, they still said Batman created by Bob Kane. Now Bob Kane with Bill Finger has been added. So do you feel that your work plus, like with Athena and the other gentleman who did the documentary about Bill kind of contributed to now that this understanding of, like shedding a light more and more on this very complicated relationship in comic book history?
I think that this is a great question. I think that I don't feel like I can I will say, okay, the best way to answer this is that when part of what's been a joy of doing these plays is that we have theater goers who know nothing about comics. We don't know anything about these people, and they come in and, like, to a fault, all of them fall in love with Bill Finger. And to this day, the theater company subscribers and people who are regular theater goers there, when they see me in the theater, they're like, "Are you going to write another one of these? Are you going to,
Wow.
And but I really think Bill got his credit in 2017, so that was before I really even got really invested in writing this. I think the person who deserves the most credit is Mark Tyler Nobleman, who wrote Bill the Boy Wonder, which is it's ostensibly a children's book about Bill Finger. And he did all of the research, and he did the work, and he was tremendously open and helpful with me. I emailed him several times with questions about Bill's wife, Portia. I wanted to know what her maiden name was for the show, and so I emailed Mark and I said, "Hey, do you know what her maiden name was?" And he's like, "Give me a second." And he came back and he was like, "Oh yeah, it was Epstein." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I mean, that's why it's Portia Epstein. And so I think Mark is the real hero, and Mark is in that documentary. And he dedicated so much time and so much effort to getting Bill credit. And he really deserves I think he deserves almost all the credit for it. He's the one who found Athena, I mean, we can go into the whole story because Fred, Bill's son, was gay and he passed away of AIDS, and everyone just thought that he had no heirs. And it was through Mark Nobleman's efforts that they found Athena, and then she was able to contest the credit, and that would not have happened without Mark Nobleman. So he's the real hero of the story.
Very nice.
I'm just
adding to it. You just entertained us all.
Well, I mean, my goal with this show was to like, all of these stories, really, we're talking about people who've passed on, right? So you can only sort of interpret what you think the thought process might have been. And with Bill, why would he agree to this? Why would he not fight for it? Why would he not, why did he let it continue? And, it was through research and talking to Mark and reading Mark's research, and because Mark Nobleman has a blog that's all about this stuff, and it's great. It's hugely informative. But that was what it was. It's like I really was interested in why these two men were like this, because. And sorry, I can talk. So if somebody wants to stop me, please do.
Oh, you're good.
No. The thing about Bob, and this is really the great sort of like hard thing to wrap your head around, is that Bob Kane, in a very real way, was the first beacon of what creator rights could be, right? Like everything that Siegel and Schuster didn't get, he got. Right. He got his name on it. He got at least a little part of it. He got all of those things. And yet he did so exploiting all of these people that worked for him.
Right.
And in some cases, you can legitimately say that they were ghostwriters or they were ghost artists. Certainly like Shelley Moldoff didn't feel like he was misused. Jerry Robinson certainly thought he was. But the thing about when you talk about that is the only one that was there with him at the beginning was Bill.
Right.
And Bill helped build all of this. So you can't just say he was a ghostwriter when he obviously put so much into it. And I think that's the great dichotomy of Bob Kane, is he somehow got this credit and this attention that a whole bunch of other creators should have got. And yet in a way he wasn't worthy of it. And that's fascinating to me. Anyway.
And then if just to kind of switch gears a little bit, because we've talked a lot about Bob and Bill. So the House of Ideas, you're examining another much debated relationship that was integral to comic book history, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And, that there's been a lot of discussion in the community about that, where some people feel Jack should have got a bit more of the credit than he did. There's always the argument about writer versus artist, which is, again, it's still an ongoing discussion with quite a lot on the internet. So, I mean, when you were working on that, what, like I said, like how did you go into that?
I think that for me, the most important thing, because I was very aware of this controversy and the downright anger that a lot of people have about this conversation, right? And the most important thing that I felt that I could do with my work was try to remind people that they were both vitally important to what was created. Like, I don't think that Jack Kirby could have created the Fantastic Four as they exist without Stan there and the elements that he brought to it, in a way, I think humanity that he brought to it. And I think that in the same way, Stan wouldn't have been able to come up with the great big grand ideas that Jack did, that Jack had, and that he'd fuse in every line that Jack would draw. And I think that I almost, it's almost, and quite honestly, I find it almost tiresome when I get into a room with people who want to argue about this thing, because it becomes this idea of like, I can't give an inch, right? I can't, if I'm a hardcore Kirby guy, I cannot give an inch to Stan. And I think that if you're a hardcore Stan guy, in a lot of ways, you can't. Honestly, I think a lot of the hardcore Stan guys don't really even know what Jack did. But that's a whole other thing.
I'm definitely consider myself a hardcore Kirby guy, but your play kind of, I sat there, I teared up, first of all, and it definitely gave some perspective. You know, it wasn't just like Stan didn't, you know, his intentions weren't wicked,
no,
I guess.
No. Wait, like it's funny because I've had this conversation with Lenny Schwartz and I had this same conversation because he wrote a play about Ditko, and we were talking about Stan and that there are people who try to lump Stan and Bob Kane into the same kind of bucket, and that's just not fair.
No.
Stan did some stuff that Stan should not have done. I specifically in the show call out the Origins of Marvel Comics book, which is a very it's a piece of corporate biography. It's about Marvel, and Stan was the voice of Marvel and the face of Marvel, and that's why it's geared towards Stan.
Right.
You know, it like this is the endlessly fascinating question, really. It's because like my wife, Colleen, this is the House of Ideas is her favorite of the three, just because she thinks it's incredibly moving that Jack is so angry and Stan doesn't seem to understand why.
Right.
Because in Stan's mind, Stan was pumping them both up, right? Like when Stan was writing those letter pages, it was all Jack and Stan, Jack and Stan, Stan and Jack, Stan.
Right.
You know, he was building the, like he says in the show, he said, I built the whole company around us. And, you know, and that Jack
just didn't see it.
Jack just didn't see it that way. And look, and like the one thing that really needs to be said is that what I deal with in the play is the very early days of Marvel. And I think it's really clear. And it's really clear that as time went on, Stan was doing less and less of the plotting. Right. So like, as you get into, I think like, especially when you get past the Galactus trilogy and all that stuff, like Jack is bringing in fully plotted books and then Stan is dialoguing them. And certainly Ditko has said that that's how they worked. Ditko was like, like the one thing is Ditko had a lot of problems with Stan, but Ditko has never said that Stan didn't co-create Spider-Man. And it's I think all of that stuff is, I think Stan is a, and I'm like I said, I can talk for an hour, but like Stan is such an incredible figure in terms of like, and what I wanted to show in the show was that he was like, Marvel would have gone nowhere without Stan. Stan knew how to talk to the audience. And one of the most amazing things, I was talking about Terry McCabe, our director. The whole reason he was also at the time the artistic director of City Lit, and the whole reason he wanted to do these plays was because when he was a kid, he was a first generation Marvel zombie. The first comic book he ever read was the first Puppet Master. I think it was Fantastic Four #4.
Wow.
But in the play, the Observer character comes in and he's wearing a Make Mine Marvel button, and that is Terry McCabe's vintage 1964 or whatever it was Make Mine Marvel button.
Wow.
Or Mary Marvel Marching Society button. So
oh my God.
Like Terry was right there, and anytime we would talk, you know, when he was talking to Brian Bro, who played Stan, he was always like, you have to just talk straight to the audience. Like, I know there's this whole persona that you have to do as part of Stan, but you also have to just talk right to them and make them part of your family. You are all part, you know, and that was Stan's gift. And I don't think any of this goes anywhere without that gift.
Everyone, if I may,
before you do, let's take 1 minute just to play the trailer for House of Ideas.
I was gonna see if he would play his clip from House of Ideas because it's a bit longer. Instead of having the what people thought of it, we can it's
okay.
give people
All
a
right,
little
here
bit
we
of a
go.
taste here. All right.
I think. And it's uploading. All right, here we go.
Here we are, the very first in-person gathering of the Merry Marvel Martians, the assembled army of Marvel. Welcome all. And if you like this sensational soiree, we'll keep having it. As long as you keep buying tickets, that is. And let me tell you, friends, I hope you picked up my latest opus, Origins of Marvel Comics. The real, uncensored truth on how your old pal Stan created Marvel Comics. It's dynamite, page after page, of behind-the-scenes bombshells, and every word is true. I ought to know. I wrote it. And here's a little scoop for you all. There's not just one sequel on the way, but two. But you know, true believers, I have to admit, as much as I love to take credit, slap my name on everything, I couldn't have done it without one tremendously talented man. And all you fans here, you lucky dogs, are in store for a real treat. But this news is too big to hold off another minute. Jolly Jack Kirby is back! The king is back! That's right, old King Kirby has returned to the bosom of the blushing bullpen. And don't you forget, it was at Marvel where that title was bestowed. That's what you're telling me. This is where his heart is. This is where it all started. And this is where one of the greatest talents in comics belongs. I'm happy to be back, Stanley. After all these years, Jackson, you, of all people, can call me Stan. But I know you're all just dying to know what the king will be working on. There will be a new series about the gods that walk among us. I call it The Eternals. But better than that, he'll be the driving force behind the one and only Captain America, returning to the character he created back in 1941. Say a few words, Jack.
Whatever I do with Marvel, I can assure you it will electrocute you in the mind.
Electrify, Jack. Electrify.
Ross, I just love your dress. Where on earth did you get something so unique?
Well, this whole thing? Gee, I don't know, Joan. Serious?
Yes. Really?
Yes, I think so.
Well, this is Miss Sony, Neiman Marcus. Just do some shopping while you're here. The boys will have work.
I think I'd rather just stay with Jack.
The four of us could go see a show, Ross, have dinner, go out. Wouldn't you so enjoy a night on the town?
That was just terrific, Jack, terrific. Everyone's so glad to have you back.
Seems like the kids are excited.
Why wouldn't they be? Stan and Jack together again.
Jack, let's go.
This is the start of a new era for us. We were a great team. We should do a project. Simon & Schuster has an offer on the table for a Silver Surfer book.
Team. You know, it's funny you say that now, but when you write your little books, it sounds like you're a one-man band.
Stan, let's not get involved in this.
Not get involved. Goodman's houseboy here never gets involved. Otherwise, he might have grown a backbone and given me my artwork back. He might have spoken up when they made me sign away all my characters just to put food on the table.
Jack, I don't own any of these characters either. I don't own a thing. I've got nothing to do with the art. That's company policy. Talk to Kate.
But you're the face of Marvel Comics.
I got kids telling me about a warehouse full of my pages, and some schmuck telling them to tear them up or burn them as some sort of loyalty test.
Johnny, I just don't understand.
These people are ungrateful.
I'm sorry, what?
Now let it go, Ross.
Oh, do you know anything about anything, you terrible woman? My Kirby was a king when Stanley was cleaning out pencil sharpeners. Your ridiculous husband has been riding Jack's coattail since 1941.
King Kirby? It was my Stan who came up with that.
Oh, Ross, please, Ross.
I will wait in the car.
Joni just looks out for me, Roz. Surely you understand that. Jack, I am really happy that you're back with us. You belong at Marvel. I'll do what you want. Stay out of your way. If I can do anything about the art, I will.
His ego takes up so much room in that heart of his, I don't know how he has room to breathe.
Yep.
Bravo.
Seriously.
Such a great scene,
I have
too.
to say, the guy that plays Kirby may not facially be Kirby, but his stature and everything it's so Kirby.
Agreed.
It's Brian Pulaharchek. He's a voiceover actor and an actor in Chicago. Been on a lot of stuff. He's a good friend of mine, and we were absolutely lucky that he wanted to do it. He is a Chicago native, very blue collar, grew up in that kind of life, and he totally understood the Kirby mindset. Like and his, the show takes place over like 40 years. And we didn't, other than Stan getting his toupee and getting his mustache, which was one of the most gratifying laughs in the show when he came out. But it's like you could watch Brian age, and it's a magnificent performance. I was
Really
absolutely, I think he's magnificent. And Brian Bro was as well. I mean, it's just like, I like all of those actors that were in see Carrie Harden, who played Roz Kirby, and Kate Black Spence, who played Joan Lee. Like that's the key to that whole show. I mean, when you're doing something like this, you want to make sure that each one has a different kind of hook to it. And for this one, like very early on, I realized you had these two couples that were the perfect people for each other. And that's what I sort of leaned into, because those are the relation. There's the Stan and Jack relationship, and then there's the Stan and Joan, and Stan and Roz, or Jack and Roz. And that was the key to it. That was the key to writing the whole thing.
Well,
I love that scene in particular because you got to see both of the couples, but it's also it's when Stan finally kind of gets that realization of, oh, you really are mad at me. You really don't think that I did this. I didn't realize that you thought I was a bad guy. Am I? I'll go try. And that, like, oh, yeah, that was such a powerful scene. And you guys get it produced around you. Is there a way they can subscribe to the theater itself to get access to the past plays?
No,
there's no way to do that, right? Or...
The archive videos, which I have them. They are private videos that I have that I can give people access to.
Thank you again.
No worries. I'm happy to share them with people one-on-one, but as far as any sort of wide release, a lot of the actors who were in these are SAG members, so then that becomes a payment issue, a residual issue, and things like that. And also, it's the theater. The videos are really the theater's property. They're their archive videos. So it makes it very difficult for me to release these videos in any sort of wide range of in a wide release sort of thing. But anybody out there who's listening to this who might be a producer or a director or running a theater or wanting something, I can tell you, here comes my pitch. These were all really big hits for City Lit, big hits. And like I said, their subscriber base, their patron base constantly asks me for another one. And the theater wants another one. That's a whole nother story. But they're just, critics loved them. The House of Ideas actually was nominated for Best New Work at the Joseph Jefferson Awards this year, 2025. So we didn't win, but we were nominated. So, a lot of people in this town really like those plays, and so I'm hoping that we'll see them. I've certainly sold the published editions, which are available at my website, which is Mark Prod at the 4-color trilogy with hyphens. Is you can purchase them through there. Yeah.
We have your link tree up above or down below wherever people are at, so you can get a hold of those. I've picked them up, yeah. And go ahead and get your group together in your town and talk to this guy, and do them yourselves too, because amazing. The roles or things people are gonna want to be in. Sorry.
There's no one else you have to talk to as far as production rights other than me. So if you can make a good pitch to me, I can probably cut you a pretty good deal.
But so a question I had, Mark, is kind of an ongoing discussion I've had with people, because I'm a theater enthusiast as well as a comic book fan. And a lot of your plays involve what people would consider golden age writers. You have Bill and Bob, you had Jack and Stan. So, people that, like, it's kind of like in theater, like if we didn't have some of those plays that some people kind of look at as, oh, they're a little cheesy and corny. It's like, yeah, but if we didn't have Guys and Dolls, Music Man, Kiss Me Kate, you wouldn't have a lot of what is now modern day theater. So it's the same way with this golden age. Like if you didn't have Spiegel and Schuster, if you didn't have Bob and Bill, if you didn't have Stan and Jack, and then a smattering of other amazing talents who a lot of them are unfortunately no longer with us, we wouldn't have the modern Marvel, DC, everything, because these guys laid down the foundation for everything that we know in the world of theater and in the world of comics. They paved the way so that we could have the show that we could have splash pages, we could have Comic-Con, we could go to panels where people turn into a roast of Bob Kane, what's your 2 cents on that?
Well, I mean, like, look, the idea of every art form is evolves, and it has to grow and change out of what it is. But if you start denying what it came from,
right,
you're gonna lose track of it. Like, there's a reason people still do Shakespeare. Right. I'm like, on a personal level, I'm a little tired of Shakespeare. But that's because, quite frankly, that's because I live in a town where there's literally dozens and dozens of theater companies, and Shakespeare's free to do. So it has to be really good for me to get really excited about it. But Shakespeare teaches you so much about, there's things that I learned from, Carrie, like the program that Carrie and I came out of was so focused on like Shakespeare work and what we called style work, where it was like, this is what this play is, and this is how you have to play to it.
Right.
Those lessons totally informed these plays, in terms of, like, when you're doing Shakespeare, like, a lot of times when you read Shakespeare, you may be like, I don't really understand what these people are talking about. But if you get 2 actors who are committed to what they're doing, those words will start to make sense, because you're going to see the emotions and they're going to see the intent behind those. And I took that same sort of thrust in terms of when I was talking about things like the one thing that I always point out is there's a moment where Roz says, why can John Buscema sell his art but Jack can't? I don't explain who John Buscema is. I don't say who that is, but the context, there's never been anybody who came up and said, who is that? They understand that's another artist, and maybe they're interested enough to go look him up. But that's the thing, is like, yeah, it's the idea. I think that so much, it's about having a basic faith and trust in your audience. Like, this is a long way of answering your question, so I apologize.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
But I mean, like, but like, if you trust your audience, they're going to accept your work as what it is. And they will see that you trust them and that you respect them. And then they will come halfway to what you're doing. And I think that works in any form. Like Golden Age comics. Yeah. Look, you can take panels out of Golden Age comics and you can be like, wow, that's ridiculous. You know, I can't remember. There was something I was looking at just the other day where it was like, you know, like it's that solid dick panel that with Iron Man and Captain America that I think everybody has seen, where it's like, you know, what you need right now, Steve, is some solid dick, you know, and it's like
phrasing.
It's like, phrasing, yeah.
Phrasing.
But I mean, the thing about it is if that's well done enough and you are respectful enough to the audience to let them understand it, they're going to be like, okay, I get what you're saying. Let's just move on.
Okay.
Because they may say that that's an antiquated sort of way of talking, but does that answer your question? I feel like I've been going on.
You're doing great. Thank you. Yes, that absolutely answered. I'm good on questions. Jar, MJ, Leo. I know, buddy. I haven't heard from you. You know, do you got anything?
I've got lots of questions still.
I know.
We could go for hours.
I put aside at least 2 hours for this. So whatever you guys want. So
I mean, oh boy.
I'm skipping.
I'm not saying we have to.
We have more time.
We don't have to go for 2 hours. What I'm saying is that was the time period that I put aside for it. So
it's just like an interview. Like we don't need to go to full hour, but we have the leeway. All right.
I have more questions too. But no, well, I've interviewed him before, so let's go ahead so that in case what I want to ask is what somebody else wants to do, I'll let them go first.
Questions?
Hold on a second. Jar Jar, we'll go Jar Jar, MJ, and then me.
Cool. Okay. Jar, go.
Okay, hold on. Let me go down my list here. Find something.
Oh, there's a list.
Yeah, I've got lists.
Fanboy.
I love lists.
Well, are you a comic fan? Like, do you collect and stuff, or did you collect ever? Sorry, I can't see back there. Hold on.
These are my trade paperbacks. This is my John Romita Jr.
I see that.
What?
Wow. What are those figures back on? Are those Doctor Who figures? What are those?
I have. Yeah, this is
stop.
So you're just a geek like us, okay?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
See, no, I thought I was crazy. Was that the TARDIS? I'm sitting looking at this man.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna think I'm insane. Well, okay, good to know. It wasn't absolutely mental. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, he's bringing it over.
Yeah. So I was right. I did see the TARDIS.
The 11 Doctors figure set that I haven't actually opened because I don't know where to put all.
Never open.
Yeah.
Never.
We don't open toys. The artwork on the boxes are worth keeping intact.
And you're the third person we know who also enjoys music. Like you're the third person we've had in a row that has a guitar collection and just will wail. And I'm just like, there's a comic book cover band somewhere out there.
Karaoke song.
Well, if you want, I do have a music project that I do just myself. It's called Hayoff, and if you go to Bandcamp and you search for Hayoff, Hayoth, I have 4 albums up there.
Wow.
I'm working on a 5th right now. 3 of which I can't really speak to the quality of, but the volume 4 is pretty good, I think.
You're good.
As I said, I told Carrie once, I'm what I would call a serious hobbyist when it comes to music. But yeah, like my kind of passion right now is original art. I don't have a ton of it, but I have and I have favorite artists and I look for like one piece. So I have a page of Darwin Cook. I have a Tim
What?
Sale page.
Oh my God! Yes.
I have Norm Brayfogle and Mark Bagley, who's a perennial favorite of mine. I also have two convention sketches that I got from Mark here. And a couple years ago, I stumbled upon a Joe Kubert page.
Look at this guy.
Wow.
And this last year at San Diego, I got my I have a John Byrne up here too, and a Kevin McGuire up there by the shield.
Nice.
You're destroying Drew. This is great.
Shut up, Carrie.
This is my big new purchase. This last summer at San Diego, I found a Jim Aparo page from Brave and Bold. I think it's number 154 with Metamorpho.
Wow.
And so that's my oldest piece right now. So that's like 50 years old.
Amazing.
So I got it at Anthony's Comic Book Art, and I think that Anthony wasn't too happy with the deal I made. His guy who was working for him was like, I'm making deals. And I said, I'll give you this cash. And he was like, okay. And then I think he told Anthony, and Anthony did not seem happy that I had gotten it for what I got it for. So,
yep.
Sorry, Anthony, if you're watching.
Right.
Are you though?
But that's
No,
that's sort of like my comic reading is basically all digital right now, just because I ran out of room. So
Real trouble. Feel you on that.
And I did have a lovely. I kept stuff that I really loved, and then I got rid of almost everything else. Which was actually incredibly gratifying. I would take them to donation centers and they would just go. Like these kids would descend and just take all of them. And it made me feel so good. But yeah, like one of the things.
If you want to donate, I'll send you my address.
Sir, you just got done cleaning out your entire basement.
I know.
Are you lonely already?
I'm missing the hunt.
That ceiling used to be full until he didn't think about the fact that he's in an attic, and that when the summer hit, the comics started dropping down. But
literally, we would be doing shows and they would drop. Like it was like, Jesus Christ! Like, are you okay? He said, "It's like, oh no." It's like that scene when all the chocolate starts melting.
The only ones that happen to stay up are the treasuries. They're
heavier.
Cardstock.
That's too
All
good.
right.
Too good.
One of the ones I kept my full run of the Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray Jonah Hex from the early 2000s.
Oh my God, I love Jonah Hex.
That's
it's the best one of the best.
Not to pitch another podcast while I'm on yours, but there's a podcast called the 22 Panels podcast that we do a pulp book club, and right now we're reading those Gray and Palmiotti Jonah Hexes, and I every month when we meet, I'm just like, this is the greatest thing ever. Blah blah blah. Oh my God,
Agreed.
you know.
Agreed. Absolutely.
And that's on your website as well, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I have a link through, they can go ahead and check out your podcast. Okay.
If you go to my website, on the media page, I list all of the book club podcasts there. I'm also in one where we're reading the Kirby Fourth World books month by month.
Funky Fleischman.
Did you start with Jimmy Olsen?
We did start with Jimmy Olsen.
Very nice.
God, I will say, yeah, it's funny. My story about the Fourth World, and I'm sorry I blather. My story about the Fourth World was when I was working on these shows. When I started working on House of Ideas, my wife and I were going to England, so we were on the overnight flight. And I was like, yeah. I was on the overnight flight and I decided, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read the whole Fourth World. And so it's like,
are you like Carrie?
Seriously.
So I'm sitting on this flight and it's like 4:30 in the morning. And I started to feel like I was going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's a combination of a lot of things. It's a combination of, you know, Kirby's wild imagination and middling dialogue skills, you know.
Yep.
And, but, you know, and it was funny because when it came up to try to do this, I was like, you know what, I'd really like to do that, because the last time I read it, I felt like it was almost like being waterboarded. I was just like, I can't do it. I can't read another Forever People. No.
I just, it's so funny. You feel like you sound like you took something and you waited for it to drop and you were like, what are you? I'm tripping fourth world balls, man. Like I am. And then literally it's in there like we're all scot-free. We're all scot-free trying to escape apocalypse, man. Like, you know.
Goodness, God damn it.
When you're sealed up in a metal tube flying across an ocean in the middle of the night, you are scot-free.
Yeah, basically. You're just sitting there. I was like, I'm not Mark. I'm scot-free. I'm Mark Miracle. Like, why? And then this is when the wife said, honey, sleep is good. We're going to put the book down. We're going to turn the light off, blanket, extra pillow, night. All right. So MJ. Yeah. No. Who you say, Mark? Oh, okay. MJ, did you have a question?
Okay. Yeah, of course I did.
Okay.
Right. So if there is a dream project that you personally could work on, what would it be? Like if someone called right now and say, hey, would you want to work with X thing? And what would that thing be?
That's a tough question. I mean, like, look, right now, quite honestly, like just about anybody who is a nerd like me, who writes, I would love to have anybody come. Like I would love to have somebody like say, hey, would you like to try to write some comic books? And I would be like, yes, I would like to try to write some comic books.
Nice.
I have several projects that I would like to explore, but to tell you the absolute truth, what would be awesome is that if I could get James Gunn to let me write either a Jonah Hex or a Sergeant Rock movie.
Bro, that would be phenomenal. That would be so good.
And let me tell you why. Because I feel like every time they try to do one of these, they try to make it too superhero-y. Like that Jonah Hex movie they watched where you could talk to the dead or whatever that shit was.
God, what the
man, no. It's
spaghetti.
It's a spaghetti Western, and that's all it needs to be. And you can make it creepy and you can make it disturbing and all those other things. And it's the same thing with Sergeant Rock. Okay, we can all trust James Gunn, but when they were talking about that script that they almost made this year, and it was like, oh, yeah, and it's I was like Sergeant Rock running around trying to get the Spear of Destiny before the Nazis do, and I'm like, so we're turning Sergeant Rock into Indiana Jones? That's not Sergeant Rock to me,
right?
You know. Plus, I would love to write a Sergeant Rock comic book because honestly, I am, and this here comes a fanboy rant. Why the fuck won't DC reprint any of these Sergeant Rock comics? Like I know there's a collection coming out in next spring, but like they haven't reprint any of those Sergeant Rock books in 15 years. I have two of the like archive DC archive, and those are 15 years old. I had to buy them on the secondary market, and they cost me like $70. And I was mad because I was like, I just want to read Sergeant Rock.
Just let me read.
Just let me read Sergeant Rock. I just want to see some Joe Kubert Sergeant Rock.
Yeah, that man wants to rock.
Yes.
You know,
Anyway,
thank you. Sorry.
I think that probably answers your question.
100%.
And it's fantastic because I really love Westerns, you know. So I would like to see someone doing Jonah Hex properly. Not whatever the hell we got that. I don't know what the hell
I'll let
that
you
was.
in on a little secret.
Oh, God damn it.
Here
we go.
I am working on my next theatrical project, which will be next fall. And I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it is an adaptation of a classic Western novel that Sheleterbelt Theatre and I got the rights to do. And we're in the process of doing some workshops and getting that ready to go. But that'll be premiering probably late August.
I literally just followed you. I went on Instagram, followed you just so I can stay up to date.
So she can keep
hashtag mystery Western. That's
there you go. Listen, I was gonna say, in terms of, I think it would be great if you did something about Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson doing Swamp Thing, and then you just have Alan Moore showing up. I would just love to see Alan Moore showing up. Just, you know, all right, here's John Constantine. Everything is, what is it?
Constantine.
You know,
okay.
Constantine.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Correct.
She would know.
Hey, hey, you knew who I was talking about. Let Mark
I
talk.
knew you were talking. I did. Okay, this is I did have, because as I said, City Lit definitely wants a fourth one. The audience wants a fourth one, and so I'm exploring ideas. I had, and I don't want to say what it was, I had an incredible idea that I thought was an amazing story to tell. I thought it would be incredible. I thought it would be very different from the other three, and it would still be a big story. And it would also be the first time that I was dealing with people who were still alive. And I reached out to one of the people who would have been in it, and got a subtle inference that if I went with this, I might get sued.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
I said, you know what? We'll just we're not going to do that. We're gonna put that away for a while, see what comes out. So I have another idea.
Well,
what?
you know what, Mark? What you really, if you want to do a play that'll make people in this conversation happy, do something about whomever creating Etrigan the Demon, because these two over here, see, look at the perk up, like in like these two are big Etrigan fans. So
yes,
you know,
calm down, you gothic rhymers.
I said, yeah.
There's a big bummer.
Be gone the form of man, arise the demon Etrigan.
Yeah.
I actually sketched out my next tattoo, and it's going to be Etrigan. Actually, it's all sketched out.
I already did. I already did Kirby, and honestly, I know if I ever revisit Kirby, I'm going to do young Kirby. Like basically, like, do you guys know about the towel service story?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that.
That's the story where, like, there was mobsters who were trying to scam the production house. I can't remember what publisher he was with at the time, was trying to scam them with a towel service, and Kirby basically was like, "You guys get the hell out of here," and scared off these mobsters. That and the German American Bund during the 40s, threatening to blow up the Timely offices after they started publishing Captain America, and they sent some note that said, Kirby, we're going to come and kill you. And Kirby said, fine, I'll meet you downstairs in 20 minutes. And he went downstairs and stood there and nobody showed up. So I was like, if I ever revisit Jack Kirby, I think it's going to be young Jack Kirby. And I'm just going to play with that sort of stuff.
He sounds like the good side of a young Teddy Roosevelt, oh, gonna get the guns, go out and do all the things,
Yeah, bully,
Bully,
all right.
bully.
All right, Leo, wrap this up. It's your turn, bud.
Mahana's got an image for us real quick. She's going to show us her etrigan.
Oh no, I thought it was in this other sketchbook, but I will because it was in the sketchbook.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I lied. Leo, go. Leo, ask questions. Drew leaves. Leo, ask something. I'm going to go.
Drew left.
Okay, so you kind of answered this, but maybe we can tackle it a different way. So during your research for all of these, was there any part of history that you came across that you thought this can't be true, and it really shocked you and it turned out to be true? And was there any part of that you wanted to get into the play that you couldn't?
There was a ton of stuff that I could have put in that ended up going. I mean, one of my mandates when I was working on these was that none of them could run more than 2 hours. I think that 2 hours is a nice solid evening in theater, and once you get a little past that, you better have something really, really, really good. So I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly, and it's a blur there. I wouldn't say that it was it didn't surprise me. I mean, it surprised me, I guess. I think in terms of your first question, or that it could be true, that's what you're asking. I don't know that there was anything that I was like, it couldn't be true, because as I kept reading stuff, I thought that's I kept hearing things and I would be like, well, that makes sense. And, it's all trying to weave a story out of it, right? In your mind. That's the first place you have to figure out the stories. You have to take all of this disparate stuff you're reading. I will say there's two things that I can sort of point to on this. As I said, when you're working on something like this and you're working on people who are real, you want to think, you don't want anything to everybody has good and bad in them, right? And you want to make sure that you can find all of that and try to meld it into what you're doing. One of the biggest challenges with House of Ideas was that I could go any number of places and get bad Stan Lee stories, or
true.
People who had problems with Stan. And it was damn near impossible to find anything bad about Jack, right? And I'm not saying that I think Jack was a bad person, but everybody has parts of themselves that are a little bit uglier than what they would like people to see. And I just feel like everything that's been written about Jack and everything that people remember about Jack is tinged with hero worship, and I think Jack is 100% worthy of hero worship. Don't get me wrong, but when you're looking for something, when you're trying to write about somebody, you're looking for those moments of pettiness. You're looking for those moments where somebody is not the best version of themselves. And every story that you read about Jack is always about how he's, just the greatest guy ever, and totally he might as well have been wearing a halo. And that's it. It was really hard for me to believe that nobody had a problem with Jack. In fact, the only person who really did was Ditko. When Jack made that claim about him creating Spider-Man, like if you've seen Steve Ditko's open letter response, like clearly Ditko is pretty pissed off, which, and Ditko was not one to mince words. And his and if you haven't seen it, it's quite amazing. And it's one of those things where it's like Spider-Man was created by two men, Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, and he draws the version of Spider-Man that Jack had drawn, that Stan was like, this doesn't work.
Right.
And it looks like Captain America with a web gun, and that was about as close as it got. And I think that, so when you say something that can't be true, in a way, I still think that there has to be something, as great a guy as Jack was. And like, please be clear. I'm not saying that Jack was like a murderer or something like that or anything terrible. I'm just saying there had to be moments of pettiness. There had to be moments where he was angry. There had to be moments, and
that's what makes it believable.
That's what makes people human,
What?
And go ahead.
Right. No, I was just going to say, but that's your point, Mark, is that what you're saying is we have to look at these people objectively. Though we admire them, they're still human beings. They were not
100%
perfect. And thus, we have to acknowledge their flaws. We're not saying you have to disrespect the dead, but you have to acknowledge they did this thing that probably wasn't the greatest decision because it did this, such and so forth.
Sure.
So we have to look at the full picture, not, hey, I'm Stan Lee, creator of Marvel. And I was like, yes, but there was also Stan Lee, the husband. There was Stan Lee, the friend. There was Stan Lee, the co-collaborator, So there were different sides to everybody, and we need to acknowledge all of them.
I mean, my friend Lenny Schwartz, he wrote he just recently wrote a play about Siegel and Schuster. And we were kind of talking about that. And I was like, I don't think people have always said you should write about Siegel and Schuster. And I'm like, I don't think anybody wants to see my version of Siegel and Schuster, because what I find most interesting about that story is that for everything that happened to Siegel and Schuster that was wrong, Superman did make them rich. Like when they were first working on that book, Jerry Siegel had a penthouse apartment on Park Avenue.
Right.
And they were making buttloads of cash. And that
I hear $800 a week.
That's right. That's right. I mean, like it was the equivalent. I mean, when you adjust that for inflation, that's like $100,000. It's like, it's like insane. I mean, and that's the truth. But I think that, that's not the story anybody wants to hear about Siegel and Schuster, but that's the story that I find interesting about them. There's a really great book it's a biography of Superman. I can't remember the author's name. I met him in San Diego one year, but like it's the biography of Superman, but really it's about the creation of the character and how the character has evolved and things like that. So it's a biography of a fictional character, and he talks about this a lot. And I saw a panel in San Diego where he and Mark Waid were talking about it, and Mark Waid was like, "Yeah, those guys were swimming in cash, and then it all went away." But in also an answer to your question, because this is another thing, when I started working on The Innocence of Seduction, I knew from reading The 10-Cent Plague about Matt Baker and Janice Valu. And they were sort of mysterious figures to me. I didn't really know their history. And my first run through of it, like I had read these stories where Matt was a quote unquote ladies' man. And I was like, oh, okay, so like, look, I'm going to take some dramatic license and I'm going to have them in a relationship. And then I bought this book that I read called Matt Baker, The Art of Glamour, in which his friend Frank Gisto starts talking about how Matt was gay. And I'm suddenly like, oh, well, that half my script doesn't work, but this is incredible. And then I start doing some more reading about it. And I always like to say that Matt Baker was apparently gay, because, you know, Matt passed away. He never came out of the closet. He never said whether he was gay or bi or what his actual sexual orientation was. So I can only go by what Frank Gisto, and there was another friend of his who also was talking about it that I can't recall off the top of my head. So I don't know for a fact that Matt was gay, but it changed the show completely, because this way that I had for these two characters to connect, suddenly I had to build them into separate storylines. And I think it made the show better, because there's 3 separate storylines running through that show. And so that was something that very much surprised me. Right. It's not quite the same as, oh, that can't be true, but it was sort of like, huh, wow, that's new information. So
okay. Carrie, did you have one last question to ask Mark before we wrap it up?
Well, while we're talking about the innocence of seduction, William Gaines, just wow. You said that you can see his testimony and stuff, but the character that you put him in, it's like, okay, the other two have these very, like, made me cry so hard, you know. And then in the middle, there's just like this comedy that was needed that showed how terrible, like, the government's like, oh, we're going to crack down on comic books and everybody, you know, well, we'll do them, but we're going to take every single thing that EC Comics is doing and make it totally be thrown out. And so I wanted to ask you, like, how much of that was based on what you read and what did you do? And then what are your feelings on EC coming back finally and having like a new start? Because I didn't get to ask you that on my last show. So
yeah. Well, okay. I think that the wonderful thing about that story, especially with having the other two characters, is that it developed. What the story developed into was there was this great idea where this horrible thing started to happen that was scaring everybody. You know, Janice Valu basically flat out said that she left comics because she was terrified for her life because people were so angry about comics. And what I saw in Gaines, who is just a fascinating character. There's 100 stories you could tell about Bill Gaines, but that he was the one who made the effort to stand up to what was going on and was probably the least equipped human being on the planet to stand up to what was going on. And then you had these two characters who did not have the power or the stature or the ability to stand up to what was going on, who were going to take the brunt of it, right? Bill came from a fairly rich family. He had money. He was living pretty well. So and he's just a fascinating character, fascinating human being. And Bill was played in the show by Sean Harkleroad, my dear friend, who, as I said, is the only actor to appear in all 3 of the shows. But as to the EC books, as with any anthology title, sometimes I like the story, sometimes I don't. I think that there is a certain playfulness that I wish they would take from the original books. I think there's a certain level of good-natured humor to it, if that makes any sense whatsoever, that I feel like isn't there, at least in the ones I've read. And I haven't read all of them. But that's basically all I can say about it. I mean, I haven't read enough of them in a deep read sort of way to really make a point. I met Hunter Goranson, who the publisher, what is it? Who's doing those? Anyway, Hunter Gordonson and I were on a panel at San Diego together about the 50th anniversary of the hearings, and lovely guy, and took my copies of my plays, so that always gets you points with me. But yeah, no, I think those books definitely have a place in the market. I wish there was always sort of a wink and a smile. I mean, like the TV show, the Tales from the Crypt TV show, they caught that in a bottle, right? The Crypt Keeper was always made it fun, right. And sometimes I'm just not having fun when I read them. Does that make any sense?
I'm a real hardcore horror fan, so I like it when it's not so much a wink and a smile. But I can tell you, I can see why you would see the big difference, and I'm excited that it's back. But I agree with you that it's not the same. It's like they were like, okay, well, horror is huge right now, so it's like we need another horror outlet to put anthologies in. Let's grab EC. It's been gone. We'll do that, and it doesn't have the same feel. It's fun for those of us who, that are more into the not so much the fun stuff, but
yeah. I mean, that's totally my taste, and I don't think it should be just a carbon copy. In fact, I really admire the fact that they created their own host characters rather than bring back the old witch and the Crypt Keeper and the I don't remember the grave digger. I don't remember what the third one was, but like I think that was the right move. I don't know. The other night I caught Creepshow. I caught some scenes from Creepshow, that movie, which was very much that was a love letter to EC Comics, and I was like, this is what I kind of like. It's like the thing that's just sort of got a goofy sense of humor about all of it too. So
yeah,
I
get you.
Well,
that's why I wondered, because there is the big difference in it, but it's like, oh, we're gonna take this back, but
yeah.
All right.
Well, Mark, we're coming up on time, so I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I can say confidently, I think we all very much enjoyed your work, and we're definitely looking forward to your long-awaited next project, whatever it is. And
we're all gonna fly to Chicago and stay with Coop and check it out. So
or
Coop?
John,
it's going to be
or John, if John has John.
I will make this offer. 100% this Western show is going up in August, September, I think into October. I am writing it, I'm directing it. And if you all can make it up here, I'll comp you.
Wow.
Hey,
splash pages roll out. Everybody, field trip. I don't know. I don't know. These people have sat next to me at a con. I don't know about sitting in a theater. That's a lot of tall people legs.
He has to room with me. I'm short. I'm good.
But I'm talking about me and Jar sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of. Excuse me. What's the etiquette? Do I give you the crotch or the butt? What's going on here?
Give me the
butt. But all jokes aside, Mark, thank you so much. That's very generous, and we will definitely. We'll start saving up our metaphorical pennies because they're of value now. So we'll start saving that up to see we can get a ticket.
Probably will be, because they're not being made anymore. So now we're gonna be rich off of my 1989 penny.
Thank you, Jar. That was a joke, but now I know exactly how.
No, it's been my thoughts.
It's not a good joke unless you explain it.
But
thank you guys. I had a blast.
Guys.
This has been a great conversation. I loved it.
Thank you. And let us know, I'm sure, keep in touch with your old alumnus. She'll let us know if you got anything coming up that we need to promote or whatnot. We'd be more than glad to. And I don't know, maybe if there's a convention that you'll be here on the East Coast for, we could all just meet up and it was like, hey, we recognize this guy.
You need to come to Terrificon in August. Yeah,
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. There you go. But
we're already stopping production of my Western for a week so that I can go to San Diego. So I don't know if I can take off for another weekend in August.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Just
Fine.
say
Don't come to Terrificon.
Just say there's a family emergency. No one questions those. Everyone's got family. But thank you again, Mark. We really appreciate it. And honestly, good luck with everything, you know?
Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep. And last thing while you're checking out, just make sure that it goes to the uploads and that your upload is up to 100, because this guy here is awesome and likes to do individual editing for sound and everything at the end. So if you can leave yourself run until then, if there's an issue, I'll get a hold of you and let you know and give you a link.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And before you do hit the magic button, just real quick, anything you dork out about other than what you've shown us
Leo.
already?
God damn it.
He's allowed.
You always forget this, Drew. Or you mentioned what you're reading. Is there any current books that you're reading?
You know what? Okay. Two things. I just finally cracked a Kickstarter that I got from Kevin McGuire. That I love Kevin McGuire so much, and he did a Kickstarter. I think it's a reprint of a book he did called Tanga and the Kaijus versus the Kaiju of Camera, and it is hilarious. It's basically this super-powered space girl who fights giant monsters and some guy who tries to be the god of a planet. Very funny. Nice, snarky attitude. I love it. It made me very happy. The other thing is that I'm reading Tomorrow's Press, if you know Tomorrow's. Best research books on comics you will ever find. Tomorrow's publications. I'm reading their Marshall Rogers book. I think it's called Dark Nights and Brightest Days, or Brightest Days and Darkest Nights. Fantastic book. I'm learning so much about Marshall Rogers. That could be a play, honestly.
Could you send me a link to them?
Sure, I can send you a link to this.
Cool, that'd be awesome.
Nice.
I don't have it at my fingertips, but I can get it, and I will text it to you.
Whenever you have time. That'd be cool.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, and have a good night, sir.
Yes,
good night, guys.
Seeing you.
Yeah, wonderful meeting you guys.
Same. Thank you. Bye.
Awesome.
You have no idea of pacing. I swear to God.
It's tough enough to get words in edgewise with you guys.
We go over this every time. That is a crutch. All you have to do is ask a freaking question. Carrie can do it.
Don't sound bitter. We had a great interview.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's longer than normal, but it's like usually we're like,
but
have a good one. You're just like, well, this is way too long. No, we had fun. We don't have a lot of news going on tonight. We had a lot of fun with Mark.
Carrie, just kidding. Carrie, MJ is half-mast.
Yes.
We have to do the news before she Britishly expires.
I'm so tired. I'm so
okay.
My
guys,
start at 5 a.m.
We got to slip right into Variant Watch and the news. So
MJ is first on the news.
MJ, if you need to leave after you do your story, that's fine. Just need to say that if you're kaput, okay?
Yeah, I'm just very tired, guys. I'm so sorry. And plus, all the other stuff going on with holiday. People come in and
I slept for 15 hours last night.
No. You can't talk, Sleeping Beauty. You're 2 seconds away from cryo sleep.
Just real quick before we go to Variant Watch, I wanted to bring this up earlier, but I found it awesome that his current theme of the suits and the editors being like the bad guys. It reminded me of I'm sure you guys saw the panel we covered a couple of years back. It was a bunch of old timers and they just ended up ripping on the editors and the suits. Just made me think of that, and it was hilarious. But
grab any of Howard Chaykin's panels.
Yeah, basically. I was going to say, like, that reminds me of when, what was it, Denny O'Neil had a Robin panel. I think I told you guys the story. He had a Robin panel, and he flat out as a panel, are there any representatives of Warner Brothers sitting in the audience? And they're like, no, you're good. Those motherfuckers. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, Uncle
Denny's
Denny's going
I
in,
can talk
guys.
about this.
Like, it was amazing. It was one of those, I was like, Denny O'Neil's all right with me, man. All right. So, Leo, let's jump right into Variant Watch. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Variant Watch. We only got one story because, again, it was a really small week as we're counting down to the last weeks of 2025. So, starting with Marvel Stormbreakers are bringing back the 90s with X-Men trading card variant covers. So as we know, X-Men will be having a new era in their storytelling with Shadow of Tomorrow that begins in January 2026. So celebrating that, Marvel Stormbreakers, which is, is a group of artists that are up and coming, already all of them pretty much doing amazing work in the genre already. We're spotlighting some of the X-Book's biggest stars. So these covers harken back to the 90s when, as you know, X-Men dominated everything, comics, TV, trading card sets. So, yeah, I mean, check this out. I mean, literally, you got one after another of these. There was Storm there. You got Cable. You got Psylocke. You got Rogue. Yep, you got Gambit. You got Wolverine, of course. You got Cyclops.
Oh, look at that.
And you, of course, Emma Frost, aka the White Queen of the Hellfire Club.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you could tell by which ones MJ liked because there were audible gasps and woes.
Like, she did that. She did that too. She cosplays that.
Yeah, she's like, I've done that. That's on my list. No, everybody does that. But yes, so these are going to be featured in select titles throughout January, including, highly anticipated Shadow of Tomorrow series like Rogue and Inglorious X-Force. So if you like anything that you see, talk to your local LCS about, putting in your orders now so you don't miss one.
And since it's 90s X-Men, you got to make sure you buy 41 copies.
Nope, that is only you. No. Yeah. Okay. Guinness World Record.
41.
So, all right. So that's the only one for Variant Watch. So, hey, hold on. Hey, Jeremy, what time is it?
It's time to get ill.
Dear God.
It didn't work.
Drew's News! Drew's News! Exciting tales, fresh comic views. In the pages, heroes fly, villains fly under the sky. From Gotham's dark to Metropolis views, we cover stories old and new. Drew's News, your daily source for comic clues. Join the fun, it's a heroic cruise in the world of Drew's Comic News.
The skull is empty.
You almost made me spit wine through my nose.
With what? With me sucking down vodka? Or what? Because what me and Jar were like,
I thought that was a buzzball. I really did.
These are the people I work with.
I don't know what that
I'm like, what is wrong?
These are the people. These are the people I work. No. Pooks, you don't need to say anything.
These are
all
the
right.
hosts you know. These are the hosts you know.
You're drunk.
I am not.
I know you're not. I just said that just to ruffle your feathers. So okay, so they are. If they were any more ruffled, we'd serve it with the side order of whatever the hell you chip into. So there you go, sour cream. So starting off, we have our first story.
Yes.
Yep. MJ, what's new with Leonid the Vampire?
So Leonid the Vampire, they are I actually made a note on this because it was so cool. Thank you again, Drew, for sending me links so I could read it. That was fantastic.
Great.
So Hellboy's Mike Mignola is back and actually reunited with the Rachel Aragno.
Aragno.
Yeah, she did Full-Tide, Mel the Chosen, and it takes us back to the world of Leonid the Vampire. The next chapter, Leonid the Vampire, The House of Yonda, a 2-issue comics arriving in March 18th of next year, so 2026. It features art by Rachel Aragno, colors by Dave Stewart, and letters by Clem Robbins. Aragno will illustrate the main covers for both with variants by Mignola, issue number 1, and Mark Laszlo, which is issue 2. This new Gothic adventure peels back the curtain of her past, so it's a lot more darker and it's really cool. And it says, when I asked research background, was it are madly in love with Leonide and her story? Aragno says, when Mike and I created her, I didn't believe that she could have such a vast world behind her, filled with stories, ancestors in a Gothic castle. They're like, I can draw her for hours, guided by Mike's words, which gave power to everything he does. I mean, these two comics reveal a new backstory for this little vampire that will help the understand us and love her even better. So I'm really excited for this for next year, honestly.
Okay.
It looks adorable and so gothy.
It is.
It really is.
And because Leonid debuted back in 2022 with One Shot's Miracle of the Cold Head, and then a Christmas for Crows. So Carrie, this is already up on your alley. Where, she's this very unique little vampire, terrifying villagers who ever find her, and then she's hunted by this undead priest, like following her everywhere, like who will not rest until she is destroyed. Typical Gothic.
Typical Gothic stories.
We call that Wednesday, or Thursday, because Wednesday's the character now, so we had to put it off today.
But yeah, so it's always the first two were great. It's great that they're going to be doing more, and it's always nice to see Mike, metaphorically speaking, spreading his wings. So awesome. Okay. Okay. So MJ. Should you need to depart like the vampire, you can just disappear into a cloud of smoke if you should need to. Or if you still want to hang, we only have a few more stories and then we're going to wrap it up. So it's totally up to you.
To make some smoke for you.
I should probably start getting to bed, actually.
All right. Well, good night, love. How do you want people to reach you?
On my Instagram is the Cheery Goth. CHEERY Goth GOTH. A lot of my cosplay shenanigans and future cosplay builds. And if you're on Facebook, for the people who still actually use Facebook, I know archaic. It's me too.
Facebook.
It's not archaic. It's my main form.
So old.
I know. It's Mahana Jade Longwalker.
Jar, did you get that? We need to send her an electronic mail.
Ooh.
Right. Thanks. It's been fantastic once hanging out with you guys.
Oh, okay, dear. All right, make sure that you have a good
Let me put on
time.
my seeing spectacles.
Yeah, let me just. Oh, MJ, are you leaving? Make sure to take a doggy bag as you go.
Right.
They don't do that in Britain. You don't get a doggy bag. They don't.
I'm sorry.
Home.
No, Jar, you're looking into the camera. All right, listen.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Stop it, Grandpa Jeremy.
And for those who celebrate, have a happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Thank you, hon. Feel better. Get some rest. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Have a good night, MJ.
Good night, guys.
Oh, she's looking for the out.
Well,
she can't find the button.
You got to press the button. All right, you maniacs. Let's wrap up the rest. So Leo.
Yeah.
Tonight has been so much fun. Like,
what?
I love
Leo.
us.
So a story about a family I absolutely know nothing about. Drew, I know this is why you gave me this story, but
anyway. You must suffer.
Yep.
I would have worn the shirt, but it's in the wash right now.
It's okay, Carrie. He knows. He knows what he did.
Yeah. I will never live it down.
Ever, Reed. But so, Fantastic Four and Charlton Heston.
Yeah. So Marvel just announced something that I don't think any of us could have seen coming. Planet of the Apes versus the Fantastic Four. So Marvel's first family is heading to Planet of the Apes, and this crossover, it drops in February. It's going to be a 4-issue series. It's written by Josh Trujillo and art by Andrea DeVito. So the official synopsis: Marvel's first family find themselves stranded on the Planet of the Apes. Witness history as the Fantastic Four crosses paths for the very first time with Cornelius, Zira, Ursus, and of course, Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius.
Yeah.
Dr. Zaius.
But they won't be going alone. Familiar foes from the Marvel Universe have set their sights on Ape City, setting the stage for a battle royale that fans won't soon forget. So Trujillo is clearly pumped. He says, I grew up watching Planet of the Apes marathons on Saturday afternoons. So it's a huge thrill to write these iconic characters. Having Marvel's first family butt heads with Cornelius, Zira, and Dr. Zaius is just so much fun. And I can't believe I'm the one who gets to tell this epic tale. It's a mashup decades in the making, and I hope you come along for the ride. And DeVito added, it sounds like a weird meeting at first, but then you realize that both these franchises were meant to be meet sooner or later. Exploration has always been the Fantastic Four's main drive. Ending up on the Planet of the Apes is absolutely perfect for a classic FF adventure. Set in the immortal tone created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, which we just saw.
We knew those guys.
Yeah, I am honored to be the one to illustrate the first official meeting between the Marvel Universe and Planet of the Apes. So for those of you that don't know, Marvel originally published Planet of the Apes comics from 1974 to 77 before losing the license in 2022. And then since then, Boom Studios has been doing crossovers with Green Lantern, Star Trek, and King Kong. So Marvel's getting back into Planet of the Apes is huge. They've only released 2 miniseries since regaining the rights in 2024. Issue 1 hits February 4th with a cover by Greg Land. And this is definitely one that we need to watch.
Didn't DC do a crossover with
Planet
of the Apes, Green Lantern?
Green Lantern. Yep. Yeah. That was the Green Lantern one. I mean, look at this right there. Especially notice that Ben Grimm is kind of channeling some Charlton Heston there. Who, again, notice that Ben is back to his human form. So that's going to be something.
Dirty apes.
Calm down.
They better let Keith have something in this, man. There are too many simians for Keith Champagne to not be in the room. He has to show up and be like,
he'll be writing the sequels. He'll write Planet versus Fantastic Four versus Planet Apes 2, the Banana Boogaloo.
Oh, but he could write like one of his crews, you know.
Oh boy,
in Planet Apes. That'd be fun.
We'll see. All right, so that looks great. That's going to be a really nice story to usher in early 2026. So
now that I saw though that Ben was without his brickiness,
rock form.
He's no longer a golem. Like, would he want to go back? Like, if he's finally able to be, but if he is, he's human on a planet where everybody else is an ape.
Right. So, but I don't know, Gary. Well, you'll have to read to find out. We'll have
I
to,
just it popped a curiosity in me. Like,
does he sing the song as well?
I want to rock.
Rock. Sorry.
I want 2 rocks.
Rock. Get out of here with this stuff, you maniacs. All right. Next up, Carrie.
Yes.
You just can't shake Stephanie Phillips.
No, I cannot. So, Boom Studios has some awesome news. Stephanie Phillips and Flaviano's hit comic Grimm has been greenlit to be made into a Netflix series by the team behind their current show that I just mentioned kind of accidentally, Wednesday. Grimm is a tale about a reaper, Jessica Harrow, who escorts souls into the afterlife. She has no memories of her own past life or how she died. So readers are plunged into the afterlife and all of its nuances and hierarchy, whilst the mystery of who she is or was and how she got there is explored. This month marks the last issue of the 25-issue run, so it's perfect timing for all of this to be coming out. Al Goh and Miles Miller, who run the production company Miller and Go Inc. INK, will be the creators, sharing executive duties with Jennifer U. Nelson of Love, Death, and Robots fame. Phillips Flaviano and Met Norkshire will be co-executive producers, as well as providing the guidance from the comic side of things, with Aaron Schmidt working with them. Per Phillips, Grimm has meant so much to me and everyone who's worked on it. To see it take on new life, pun intended, as an animated series with Netflix is beyond exciting, and I can't wait for fans, new and old, to step into Jessica Harrow's world with us. So it's been greenlit. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go, but it's looking good. They're excited about it. So hopefully we'll be able to see this coming to Netflix soon.
I like that it's an animated series because I feel like that they'll be able to do a more. Yeah, and she is just having such a good year, Stephanie Phillips. I mean, she just wrapped. She wrapped up Phoenix. She's doing Planet She-Hulk right now with Aaron Cooter, and she just had the announcement that she's doing the newest volume of Daredevil with Lee Garbett. I mean, come on, she is just killing it, man. Good for her.
Yay, Stephanie Phillips.
Yay, Stephanie
Phillips.
You
know, flip her off. It's a thing. We aren't being mean to her. It's a her thing.
It's a her thing.
Yeah.
We were okay. Great. That's that. Hopefully we'll be able to see and talk about that. AK Leo, like, oh hey, did you see the latest episode of Grimm? It was so good. Just like I just like hearing about every single episode of Andor. Every episode.
You should join John.
Carrie, I think it's amazing when me and John are in the same room together. I
was talking to Leo.
Oh, okay.
No, you two should never be on a show together. That would just be too much.
It's a lot. That's a lot of energy.
Yeah, that is. But I was saying no, Leo, and talking about anyway, so I believe it.
All right.
Well, it might be a little difficult because I was enjoying the new Trek.
You like new Trek?
Whoa.
Yes, I like.
Don't go there. Whoa, Leo, don't go there. We've seen where this goes.
I just don't understand.
I will die on this hill. Lower Decks is friggin' phenomenal.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah. Stay on the lower deck.
I annoy them. I don't watch any of the shows. I just show up for their Trek things, and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if Q was there? I would so love it if Q was there. I would like to be a Q. Can Q do things?
You guys are ridiculous.
That's what I do. And they read it every time. They're just like, did you know that Carrie doesn't watch the shows? She just watches us and bugs us about Q. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I do.
All right, you maniacs. Let's work back to the news. So I think the next story is me.
Q was actually in the.
Yeah, you're last.
No,
aren't you?
No,
you're last as well.
Yeah. I am last, but this next one. Okay, I'm pumped about this because
we'll talk about Q in a bit.
Yeah. After the show, you two. This I have to say I'm really excited about this crossover because not just because this sounds absolutely nuts, but because it's written by one of my favorite writers, Eric Burnham. So, hail to the king, baby. So it means that Archie will be meeting Ash Williams of Evil Dead, aka Army of Darkness, this February. And the creative team behind Archie Comics and this Dynamite crossover is Eric Burnham and artist Bill Galvin. So the synopsis is Ash J. Williams has found himself doomed in battle against the forces of evil over and over again, whether he likes it or not. But whether he's clocking in at S-Mart or hurling through the multiverse, the cycle of violence always follows him, repeats itself until he finds himself in the picturesque town of Riverdale. This wholesome community seems to break the curse that has plagued him ever since he crossed paths with the Necronomicon all those years ago in the cabin in the woods. But the serene peace will come crashing down when an over-curious teenager by the name of Archie Andrews stumbles upon a copy of the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, accidentally summoning the Deadites in Riverdale. Ash will find himself allied with the good townsfolk of Riverdale, fighting to hold back the undead hordes long enough for Archie to undo the crazy dumb shit he's done. Eric is absolutely thrilled to go back to writing Ash, but also, of course, taking his take on the genuine American icons that are Archie and the gang. The people at Archie Comics have nothing but positive things to say about Bill Galvin, especially him being an Archie mainstay for years, essentially capturing the essence of Archie characters, but then creating eye-catching out of the side of the box and sometimes horrifying art on his variant covers. So this is a treat for everybody. So we've already seen, as Leo's been blowing through the covers here, there's covers by Galvan, Robert Hack, Laura Braga, Craig Cernak, and Carrie Stuart Sager. There will also be a blind bag for the first issue, which will include 2 more covers from Galvan and Afterlife at Archie's Francesco Francavilla, as well as line art variants and colored blanks only in the bag. This hits stores February 4th next year.
I love it that there's little Archies attacking them. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
This cover has the most storyline behind it, I think. When you go back to Army of Darkness, this is the like killer of them all.
Yeah, this is the Army of Darkness movie cover. Yeah. This one, that one's
I like it.
Wow. Like
That's
it's so simple but very terrifying. I was like, oh God.
Okay, let me go back more. Let's see the rest of them again.
I like the classic Archie look.
Right. That's the Riverdale show cover. You can tell, And then oh God, that's terrifying.
I wonder if they're gonna have J. Scott Campbell do one of them.
You never know.
What was the?
I think that Carrie Grandma. I think that's a Stuart
Sager one. Yeah, that's Stuart Sager, and I'm assuming that that's the Necronomicon she's opening up with. Who wants to be the first to sign my yearbook?
100% the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to send him an email and be like, "That's fucking gorgeous."
Right.
By the way, if you're watching, Stuart, that's fucking gorgeous.
How many issues is this going to be?
I think it's probably 4. The miniseries.
I wonder if Sabrina will make a.
Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. I mean, it's the same. They've confirmed it's kind of the same freaking universe. So, yep. But all great. So that's, like I said, February of next year, everybody. Archie versus Army of Darkness. Jar, you have the next story, and this one I am very, very excited about.
I am so surprised by the way that Drew gave away a Mignola story to MJ. That was like, I'm so proud of you, sir, for doing that. That was
sometimes you just got to know the right magic. Sometimes I've been doing the news so long, I kind of know stories that I'm like, this is in their wheelhouse. I'm not just going to give you something like, do this, And sometimes I'm like, I was like, yeah, you're going to have a Hellboy story, but don't you dare touch my Ultimate Universe. But Jar, this next one sounds so fucking rad, and I kind of thought, you would be kind of down with this kind of.
There he is. Ooh, Usagi Yojimbo, Kato 84. It's a brand new 5-issue miniseries spinoff. And rather than continuing the adventures of the original rabbit Ronin, the series follows a descendant of Miyamoto Usagi, a character named Kato. The setting is actually in 1980s Osaka, which is a big shift in time period tone. In context, all differ from the classic feudal Japan Usagi stories. In short, Kato 84 is not a continuation of Usagi Ito period samurai travels, but a reimagining legacy story using the same bloodline, putting it in a totally different time and genre feel. 80s crime, stealth heist vibes, more modern setting. Blech. The first issue, Kato 84, number 1, is scheduled to hit stores on March 11th of 2026. The miniseries is being published by Dark Horse, the current home of Usagi Yojimbo. Writer is Zach Rosenberg, and the art and also handling the hand lettering is Jared Cullum, using full watercolor art. Let's see. Main covers are by Cullum. Variant covers will feature rotating cast of notable artists, including Stan Sakai, the creator of Usagi, Jim Rugg, Kevin Eastman, co-creator of TMNT, David Peterson, Kim Hugh, Daniel Warren Johnson. The list goes on and on. It's going to be pretty cool. It's set in 1984 Osaka, as I said. The bloodline of Miyamoto Usagi lives on through Kato, a cunning rabbit thief with a rebellious spirit. He embodies his ancestors' legacy in a way the stoic samurai we know and love never could. A daring new heist for a legendary spear sets Kato down a perilous path, forever altering his destiny and placing the fate of Osaka and perhaps the world on his shoulders. And that's about the extent of what we know. 5 issues. It's going to be a heist. It looks amazing.
Absolutely.
That Stan Sakai cover is gorgeous.
It is. And you know,
this one is definitely very 80s. That looks like the Miami Vice logo, and the car. I don't know if that's a Yugo or a rabbit.
A rabbit.
Yeah. I think I dated somebody who had one. It's probably a rabbit because that would.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
A rabbit. Totally a rabbit. Rabbit thief. But yeah, this is such a cool idea, and the fact that it has Stan's full support and blessing, I feel really, because again, he wouldn't just let anybody work on his baby without like him giving the thumbs up. So
yeah,
I have a little story to tell. I'll tell you guys after the show's done. So
all right, cool. All right.
Did any of you have a rabbit in your family?
I dated somebody who did, so that counts, right?
Yes.
We had a hand-me-down rabbit, and I remember the axle broke like on the highway. It was yeah.
Dear God. Thank you, Leo. That was.
I think, Leo, that your dad was out there like sawing through it slowly at night with a little sandpaper thing, just to see how long it would last, because he's like, I hit him in the head with a backhoe like a couple of times.
Stop.
Flip.
No, please don't.
Well, I told you the first like the first go-kart he made me didn't have brakes. I had to crash into things to stop.
I know.
You know?
Stop.
That's what I'm saying. It was a trap.
Leo.
It's all a trap.
Leo, I say this with all the love and kindness in my heart. There's not enough therapy in the world for you, kid. Okay? Like, you tell us these things, and I'm just like, by God, write it down. Write it down, and then have some like
another
that didn't
show
happen.
and have you hop on and do it. You ready for another storytelling show? We'll have it
Please
over
don't.
Outlight.
Please don't.
Over at Outlight. Shut up, Jim.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Leo Tales.
You're not invited. It's going to be Tales of Leo with Drew not there because he won't let him talk.
Damn.
Yeah, seriously, Jar. Like, God forbid. You know, if you do the news, all right. Someone's
All
going.
right, let's get on. I gotta
Yeah.
hit the bathroom.
Let's go. Yeah, we're already running long. All right, this is the last story of the night. This is really important to bring up as this deals with work that's done posthumously. Legendary writer Larry Hama and the late great MD Doc Bright's final work will be presented for the first time at Boom Studios with The Centerhold. So a superhero series that questions the very nature of what it means to be a hero with its gigantic first issue. So the synopsis of the story is, in a world where superheroes have become commonplace, heroes are required to join a union or else face serious financial liability for the damage caused during battles. Enter the Superheroes Union, a team up of genius cyber, psychic Lakshmi, the mysterious Keeper, and the child prodigy Nicotron, among others, as they battle villains and bureaucracy alike. And though the delicate balance of mitigating damage while saving lives is already tough enough, they've got their own worries with a constant stream of villains rising up to challenge them. So Boom Studios and Larry Hama are proud to be donating 2% of their net sales from the Centerhold to the Hero Initiative in honor of their collaborator, MD Bright's memory and legacy. So it will be featuring covers, as we saw, by MD Bright, Joe Quinones, Carrie Randolph, and Chuck Patton. Again, Larry is just a great writer. MD was a phenomenal artist. So we definitely had to give this its proper due. So, yep. So you can find that at Boom Studios.
Boom.
Yeah. But that's it for news. So. Okay.
Well, we will wrap things up. Drew, who is next week?
Thank you for asking us, Leo. Much appreciated. We are kicking off December with some excellent guests, counting down to our holiday live read, which will be the last show of the year. But first and foremost, next week, December 2nd, we will have the great Chris Eliopoulos will be joining us. We got to interview him at Terrific Con. We're really excited to talk to him about Franklin Richards, Boy Genius, Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers, and his project Cowboy. That's 2 words, not 1. Among other things. We're super pumped to have him here. I'm looking forward to interviewing somebody who's on the same coast as me, as in Jersey, not Connecticut. And it's going to be great. And then on top of it, we got 2 other awesome guests. So trust me, you're going to want to stay tuned for this one. And if you like what you're seeing, make sure you like and subscribe so you can keep track of all this craziness, because very soon we're going to start working on planning for next year, and next year is going to be BANANAS.
That's bananas.
It is, Jar. It is.
So you should have brought up bananas when we were talking about apes. But on that note, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. For me, you know how to find me, but more importantly, follow these awesome people. And there's information showing us up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And kicking on over to Jar Jar.
You can find me every Tuesday here on Splash Pages. And check out my Twitch. I Twitch over streaming video games, all sorts of cool stuff.
Oh, what are you twitching
right now? Between Fortnite and Visions of Mana.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You're twitching. You should get that looked at.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
You pick up Dragon Quest yet?
No, but I have plans to, and I'm gonna have the whole run, and I'm going to be left alone for about a week.
Awesome.
Nice.
Harry.
I have this whole bag of meds if you start twitching too hard. But
I got those meds too, but not that bad.
Well, I have epilepsy. I twitch more.
Oh yeah, that's right. I almost forgot.
Yeah. If you want to find me, Carrie Sanders over on Facebook. That's where all of my other links are at. I write things. I am on the Owlite Network, which is also part of the Dorkening. We do shows there. I do lots of things. I'm going on vacation for the next couple of weeks. I am going to be out of here, so you aren't going to see me. I will be sending in photographs from Laughlin and various other places down in that area. And I'm gonna sneak the squirrel in. We're gonna sneak him into the casino. He can't be carded because he can't afford to drink there. But yeah, I'm gonna be having some fun. But I will be back with you guys in order to see Tim Seeley. Unfortunately, I'm gonna miss the interviews before that. But I'll be having fun. Mahana, I think, is going to be hanging out for me. So you'll have at least one goth girl per episode on average. It'll work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go see what Drew's doing. Say goodnight to him. What is
Drew, what are you doing?
Drew?
Drew?
Drew.
We see you.
Oh my God, you can see me. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you need to talk to me, you can find me on Facebook, Drew Malo, Ghostbusterman 1984 on Instagram, Blue Sky. Same deal for me. Generally busy. I've made the joke I'm the busiest unemployed person you can probably find right now. But hopefully I'll be soon the most busiest employed person around. That would be really cool. Till then, leave me a message and I'll get back to you, I don't know, before 2030. Beep.
Beep, beep.
Catch you later.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, everyone.